we briefly started on this. So, Erickson, when he invented all these stages of the development, he focused on different angles. He focused on people's sense of control in life, how they develop over time, from infanthood to adolescence to adulthood to old age. He focused on personal control. And in this first stage, the trust and mistrust, and if the needs of the infant were being met when the infant was being breastfed at promptly when he or she was hungry, then the infant developed a trusting attitude towards adults around him or her, and is the opposite if the mother did not attend to the infant right away. And the kid, now a kid from an infant, will learn about independence properly if the potty training goes well. The kid will get a better sense of independence and autonomy if the potty training went well. And it may take a kid a bit longer to learn about autonomy and independence if the potty training did not go well, or is too lax, or is too strict. So Erickson focused on different things of the personality. He focused on control, or the sense of agency, human agency. You can Google this word. And in stage 3, the kid's sense of personal control improved as he or she advanced in years. And in this stage, the kid learned how to master his or her surroundings. And if the kid had a lot of opportunity to learn how to take initiative at home initially and later in school, the kid will develop a sense of control on a deeper level at an early age. And if not, if the parents were too overprotective, or the teachers did not give the kid ample opportunities to learn how to take initiative, to learn how to think independently and initiates their thought in the classroom or whatnot, the kid may learn how to assert their own opinions at a somewhat later age. So as we can see, sometimes what happens at home is going to affect how fast or how slow the kid is going to learn a sense of personal control. But if the kid, just my 2 cents, did not learn the different stages of personal control according to all these phases, I think he or she will pick up somewhat somehow in later phases of life. Maybe parents or adults, they should not be too worried. That's my 2 cents. You don't need to agree. And at some point, maybe later on in middle school or high school or even college, the kid may have a lot more opportunities to learn how to take initiative, and the kid can fill in all these gaps he or she missed in the early phases of development. That's my 2 cents. So, in this stage 4, around 5 to 11, the kid not only learn how to take initiative, but he or she also have a sense of what accomplishment means when the kid is a bit older, between these ages. And the kid learns when they accomplish something, the kid will realize he or she can take pride in these accomplishments. The kid may not realize that their pride associated with accomplishments or there are a sense of fulfillment when they accomplish certain things. The kid may be too young to realize that in this stage, but the kid begins to realize that as he or she enters stage 4. And if the kid is somewhat of a slow learner, maybe they learn at a slower pace and they haven't accomplished many things compared to their peers of their age group. And the kid may initially feel some sense of inferiority, maybe not too much in this stage. But this also depends on how competitive the kids' environment are, I think. And after middle school, the kid enter this phase. And during puberty, we all, during this age, try to find out more about our identities, who we really are, and what we really want to be in years to come. We do a deeper exploration of ourselves to find out who we really are. And if we are successful, the next few stages will go better, according to Erickson. And in my humble opinion, some children, they are late bloomers. Maybe they haven't figured out what they really want, who they really are. And maybe they can figure that out later on in life, maybe in college, in the working world, or in some parts of their adult life. So in my humble opinion, not to worry. Maybe people go through all these stages, but I think their age groups for all these stages are not so rigid, in my humble opinion. But people eventually go through all these phases or stages. That's my 2 cents. So if the kid haven't figured out, or not the kid, the adolescents haven't figured out who he or she really is, and the kid may be somewhat confused. The kid may ask adults a lot of questions, and maybe sometimes with all these questions, the kid may eventually find out their true identities. And if not, it's okay. The kid will continue to progress through life. Later on, in college or in the working world, when they meet new different people, they may eventually form their identities. That's my 2 cents. The person may not be confused forever unless something drastic happened when the person was growing up, or in his or her adult life, or when the person was transitioning from one phase in life to another phase, from childhood to adolescence, or from adolescence to adulthood. Unless something major happens, something drastic happens in these transitions, I don't think a person will be confused for the rest of his or her life. Questions so far? I hope I'm making sense. Okay. So if this goes well, the person gets a sense of identity. The person will find it easier to form intimate relationships with other people, whether it's lovers or friends, just other people around him or her. And the person will have a better sense of boundaries if this goes well. If the person has a sense of identity, the person not only can develop healthy, intimate relationships with others, but the person can also get a better sense of boundaries with other people. And because of that, there may be less conflicts and misunderstandings with other people around this person when he or she has a good sense of boundary. And if not, I would say not to worry. That's just my 2 cents. And don't go around telling your psychology classmates or professors or any professional, any other professors, I said that. I'm not a psychologist. And I am not good pretending to be one, even apparently. So, if the person did not get a good sense of identity in this phase, the person may not have a good concrete knowledge of what is a healthy relationship, what are boundaries, and the person may learn it later on in life. And he or she may initially offend some people, and after that, when the person learn about identity at a later age, not by all this age defined by Erickson, then the person may develop healthy, intimate relationship with others, maybe later than his or her peers. It's not a problem. And the person may get a better sense of boundaries after offending several people. Then the person realizes, oh, this is where I did wrong. And I think the person will fix his or her ways when he behaves towards other people. And if the person did not develop a good sense of identity in this phase, the person may be isolated. Maybe initially, I don't think it's forever, when the person did not get a good sense of boundary. Because of that, he or she failed to have a healthy relationship with others, be it friends or lovers. Then the person may learn from his or her mistakes. When the person self-examines himself or herself, the person will gain a better sense of identity. And then the person will be able to build healthy relationships, get a better sense of boundaries. The person may not be isolated forever. My 2 cents. You don't need to agree. And if the person can build healthy relationship, has a good sense of boundary, as the person progresses through another phase in life, maybe from young adulthood to middle age, and the person will think that, oh, maybe I contributed to society to some degree. I have a sense of fulfillment in life. This is what we call generativity. When the person has a solid sense of his or her identity, the person are more able to build healthy relationships with others, have a good sense of boundary. And people may like to work with that person through school projects or in the work environment. And because of that, the persons may have a lot more opportunities for projects, for other opportunities at work, to hone his or her expertise and potential, initially at school and then at work. And because of that, as the person progresses from teenage years to adulthood to middle age, or even to old age, the person will feel, oh, I accomplished a lot in my life. I have a sense of fulfillment. And if the person, let's forget about this for a while. If the person, even in his or her adult years, still have problems building healthy relationships with proper boundaries with others, the person may experience something we call stagnation. Maybe because the way the person interacted, maybe he or she always rub the other person or colleagues or classmates in the wrong way unintentionally. So the person may lose out a lot of opportunities in school and then at work or in other social circles. And the person may say, I haven't really accomplished much in my life. And because of that, the person may feel a sense of stagnation. Question so far. Hope I'm not confusing you. Okay. So, if things go well in this phase, the person feels that they accomplish a lot, they are fulfilled, they are contributing a lot to society. And the person may enter the old age with a sense of integrity. They are happy at that stage of their life. And if not, they may feel a sense of despair. Maybe it starts from this phase. They haven't acquired a good sense of boundary. They rub people the wrong way. And then, because of that, they haven't given as much opportunities as they wanted to. And when they enter the old age, they may feel that their life is not worth living so much. I hope I'm making sense. Questions so far? If no questions, let's go to our textbook. Sorry, I'm confusing you. Okay, let's go to another stages of development invented by Jean Piaget. And Piaget again, when he analyzed how people progress from infanthood to childhood to adulthood to old age, he focused on another aspects of development. He focused on how one negotiates with the inner self and his or her environment. So let's ask Dr. Google about Piaget. Okay. So, Piaget observed the changes as one progressed from infanthood to childhood to adulthood to old age through our senses, how our awareness, how our ability to make use of our senses, our eyesight, our sense of smell, our sense of touch, and whatnot and what else changes as we progress from infanthood to childhood to adulthood. And we were at the sensory motor stage for the first 2 years of our life. We learn, we experience our world in those years through our senses, sense of touch. Maybe we could see things, who knows, even when we were this young. So, we learn to experience life through our senses like sucking, grasping, our sense of touch, looking. So maybe we could see at this age and listening. Infants are attuned to the mother's movement. So maybe infants or a young kid, toddlers, could listen or could see and could grasp when he or she was being fed or his or her needs are being attended to. Infants, toddlers had some sense of awareness. even at this stage. And when we are a bit older, we enter the pre-operational stage. And when we enter this stage, we can think in terms of symbols. All these words and images or pictures, graphics, we can associate a symbol in each word or graphic. We are a bit advanced compared to this. We were basically operating on our main senses in this stage. Now, we can associate what we see, sense, or hear with symbols. We are a bit advanced. And in this stage, we tend to be a bit selfish or egocentric. And we haven't really developed enough to try to understand situations from another person's perspective. And because of that, we tend to be egocentric, not intentionally, in these years. And we learn how to use words, language to communicate with other people. And sometimes we attach different symbols through the different words we use. So because of that, I'm sure you hear this before. Sometimes certain professionals, counselors, therapists, and psychologists, they advise parents not to punish kids in this age range for being selfish. And they have a very good reason, as we can all see, right? Because we haven't developed sufficiently to try to think from another person's perspective, unlike our adult years or teenage years. So, if the kid is being scolded, beaten, or grounded for being selfish, it serves no purpose. It does not do any good but harm to the kid. And psychologists have a very good rationale behind this. And when we enter grade school, until puberty, we enter the concrete operational stage. Here, we develop logical thinking. And we can understand certain concepts. We can think in 3 dimensions, like this example. These examples show that we can think in 3 dimensions. The fat, broad bowl is the same as the tall, thin cup. We can think in 3 dimensions. And our thinking becomes more logical and organized during this age. And because of that, schools begin to teach kids a lot more math concept in this age, not so much in this age. And we learn how to use logic and reasoning to explain certain phenomena, events happening in our life. And after middle school, we enter the formal operational stage. We can think in abstract terms as we enter this phase. And we can also think deeper pertaining to different events happening around us, different events pertaining to why certain politicians got caught, and why people who go to jail, people who are in prison, sometimes they may be innocent or outrightly innocent because they may be political prisoners. We can reason through all these things. And we can think about the deeper ethical and social implications of many of the issues, events happening around us. And one last thing I'm going to mention before I take Rose. So, I listened to some of the Chinese sermons from a pastor in Singapore. He has a YouTube channel for the church, not for him. So I like his sermons in Chinese from that Singaporean pastor. So, in one of his sermons, he mentioned when he was picking his daughter up from school. His daughter is in middle school right now in Singapore. His daughter one day mentioned to him, I don't like this particular classmate. She is such an attention seeker. And he responded by saying, maybe when you were growing up, your mom and I gave you ample attention. So because of that, you were less likely to be attention seekers in the classroom, in school, in public settings. Maybe your classmate, her parents could be too busy, or due to one reason or another, the parents could not give her ample attention growing up. So because of that, his daughter's classmate was still behaving in a certain way, even past this age range, in middle school, where people develop the abilities to think from other person's perspective, to be more considerate. But because maybe his daughter's classmate did not get ample attention growing up, maybe the home life was too busy. So she was still somewhat egocentric in her middle school days. That's my point. I hope I'm not confusing you too much. I cannot pretend to be a psychologist.